But there's one more passage I want to read from the book of Deuteronomy itself, because we watched two short clips. Zakir Naik actually goes on to show various ways that Muhammad is like Moses. So for instance, Muhammad was a political leader just as Moses was a political leader, and so on. So he gives examples like these. But in context, Zakir Naik loves context. In context, to the people of the time, what did it mean to refer to a prophet like Moses? What was important to them? Well, let's read. The end of the book of Deuteronomy, the book Zakir Naik is quoting to show us that like Moses means something like Muhammad. This is Deuteronomy, final chapter, beginning at verse 9. Now Joshua the son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him, and the sons of Israel listened to him and did as the Lord commanded Moses. Since that time, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses. So we're getting an idea of what like Moses meant in the context of the time. Since that time, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, for all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to perform in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh, all his servants, and all his land, and for all the mighty power and for all the great terror which Moses performed in the sight of all Israel. So you have the two criteria of being like Moses, knowing God face to face, in other words, having such a high relationship with God, and miraculous works performed in the sight of the people. Sam, does that refer to Muhammad? Does that sound like Muhammad?
Definitely not. Now notice what the criteria happen to be. He has to know God intimately face to face and has to perform miracles like Moses did. Well, the Qur'an itself testifies that Muhammad's God is not the God of Moses, and Muhammad was incapable of doing miracles like Moses did. For instance, if you go to chapter 5, verse 18 of the Qur'an, this is what Muhammad says to the Jews and Christians who claim to be children of God. Chapter 5, verse 18. The Jews and Christians say, we are sons of Allah and His beloved. We are the children of God. We are His beloved. Say, why then does He chastise you for your sins? No, you are but mortals of His creating. So Muhammad says to the Jews and Christians, neither of you are children of God, children of Allah, the God that Muhammad preached, because Muhammad's God is a father to no one. He has no children, whether spiritually or biologically. And as Christians, we condemn the belief, the notion, that God sires children sexually. That's a blasphemy to us, just as much as it is a blasphemy to Muslims. We believe that God is a spiritual father who begets spiritually. His children are His because they're born of His Spirit. However, Muhammad says, no, you're not His children. Yet in the same book of Deuteronomy that Zakir Naik quotes, several times Moses affirms that Israel, the nation of Israel, are the sons and daughters of the living God. For example, Deuteronomy 14:1. This is what God is saying through Moses to say to the nation. Deuteronomy 14:1. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves or make any baldness on your foreheads for the dead. You are the sons of the living God. Muhammad said, no, you're not. Deuteronomy 32:6. Do you thus repay Yahweh, you foolish and senseless people? Is not He your Father who created you, who made you and established you? Deuteronomy 32:6, Yahweh is their Father. They are children of the living God. And Deuteronomy 32:18 says that Yahweh begot Israel, begot them, gave birth to them, spiritually speaking. But Muhammad says his God is a father to no one, let alone the father of the Jews. How then can Muhammad be a prophet like Moses when his theology contradicts the theology of Moses? And then finally, did Muhammad do miracles like Moses? The Quran itself says, answers with an emphatic no. Chapter 28, verse 48 of the Quran says this. Chapter 28, 48 says, but the disbelievers are asking Muhammad, why is a sign not sent with him like it was sent with Moses aforetime? So here, the people are saying, Muhammad, how come we don't see any miraculous signs accompanying you the way it accompanied Moses? Moses did signs. How come we don't see you doing any signs like Moses? That's chapter 28, verse 48. And Muhammad doesn't say, well, here's a sign like Moses. He simply says, well, miracles are in the power of Allah, and Allah hasn't been pleased to give me a miracle other than the Quran. So, on the basis of the criteria given in Deuteronomy 34, 10 to 12, knowing God intimately and doing miracles, Muhammad fails both counts. His God is not the same God that Moses knew intimately, and he could not do miracles like Moses did. However, the Lord Jesus Christ perfectly fulfills that criteria.
So there's no way, really, this passage could be talking about Muhammad. But there's even more we can point out, showing that not only is Muhammad not the prophet of Deuteronomy 18, not only is he not preaching the same theology, the same God that Moses preached, we can also show that according to Deuteronomy 18, Muhammad can't possibly be a prophet of any kind except for a false prophet. The passage that Muslims quote, if they'd finish reading it, actually shows that Muhammad can't be a prophet at all. And let's read the verse. So Deuteronomy 18:18. Just 2 verses later, we read Deuteronomy 18:20, which gives 2 criteria of a false prophet. And we have the 2 criteria right here. But the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or which he speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. This is the same passage. This is the same passage that Muslims are quoting to show that Muhammad is a prophet. And just 2 verses later, after Deuteronomy 18:18, we read that Muhammad can't be a prophet at all. Why? 2 criteria. If you speak something, if you deliver a revelation that doesn't come from God, or if you speak in the name of other gods, you're a false prophet, and Moses, according to Moses, you would be put to death,
exactly.
right? Now, did Muhammad do these? Did Muhammad do either one of these?
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, he did both, and we know this is exactly what Muhammad did with the infamous satanic verses. If you don't know the story, I have 37 Muslim sources of varying degrees of reliability, including passages that go all the way back to people like Ibn Abbas, saying that Muhammad delivered a revelation to his followers. They bowed down in honor of that. Muhammad bowed down in honor of the revelation. Then Muhammad comes back later and says, the devil made me do it. The revelation said that you can actually pray to 3 goddesses, Alat, Alusa, and Manat. These were 3 pagan deities of the Quraysh tribe, Muhammad's tribe. Muhammad said you can pray to them because they can take your prayers to Allah. Muhammad delivers this revelation as part of the Quran to his followers. He comes back later and says, the devil tricked me. And he said, and I'll quote it to you, in At-Tabari, when he was embarrassed about this, he said, I have fabricated things against God and have imputed to him words which he has not spoken. That's At-Tabari, volume 6, page 111. Think about this. I have fabricated, this is Muhammad speaking, I have fabricated things against God and have imputed to him words which he has not spoken. What is Deuteronomy 18:20 says? If you speak in the name of God and it doesn't come from God, you're a false prophet, you have to die. And if you speak in the names of other gods, which Muhammad did when he said you can pray to Allah, Alusa, and Manat, right, you're a false prophet and you have to die. So Muslims say, aha, Deuteronomy 18:18, this shows that Muhammad is a prophet. And we believe in Moses too. Muslims, get this through your minds. If Muhammad had delivered the satanic verses during the time of Moses, Moses would have said, everyone pick up a stone because this guy has to die. He is a false prophet.